Magandang araw sa inyong lahat mga kaibigan, mga kapatid ko Pilipino. Kumusta kayo po? Today is Saturday and today is September 27 na po, no? Sana okay ang buhay ninyo ngayon, Sabado ngayon. May kunting panahon tayo para at least mag-rest tayo po. It's a weekend holiday, Saturday, Sunday. So, sana enjoy kayo ang weekend ninyo po. Ito po si Nico Fabian, nandito pa rin po sa programa natin TikTok, The Real Talk with Nico. And habang magulo pa rin ang mga hot issues dyan po sa Pilipinas, particularly yon ng issue natin ng corruption sa Pilipinas, especially those scandals relating to itong flood control projects, anomalous deals, no? Na ginawa ang or may participation not only ang mga contractors, may kalukuhan, not only ang mga opisyales, especially mga engineers ng Department of Public Works and Highways, but also ang mga pangalan, lumabas na po ang mga pangalan ng ating mga legislators, mga lawmakers po, mga congressmen, mga senators. But until now, hindi pa natin alam po, no? Despite all the evidences na ba yun? Despite all the findings carried out by itong Blue Ribbon Committee ng Senado po, na pinpointing na talaga po kung sino-sino ang may kasalanan sa kalokohan ng mga awarding of flood control projects, infrastructure development projects dyan po sa Pilipinas. Wala pa rin nangyari. Wala pa rin na arrest warrant issue to these people po. No? Wala pa. Although, mayroon na tayo na rinig ang authorities concerns, kagaya ang Independent Commission on or for Infrastructure, who is now investigating itong anomalous transactions po or deals. And ang Department of Public Works and Highways, ang secretary natin, si Secretary Vince Dizon, is very, sabihin natin, very serious in looking into these projects amounting to not only millions, but we are talking about the billions and trillions po. And because of this, sabihin natin, anomalous scandal, ang buhay ng mga Filipinos being affected in many aspects, in many ways po, no? Even ang exchange rate ng peso to dollar, US dollar natin ngayon po, grabe na po. I think it's already 58 something. 58 pesos sa 1 ringgit, sa 1 peso po. Grabe, no? So in other words, bumaba talaga ang value ng peso dahil itong mga sabihin natin kalukuhan carried out by kapwa Pilipino. Tayo po, mga lawmakers natin whom we elected to represent us and to protect us. But unfortunately, ganito pala nangyari. Instead of protecting us, they are protecting themselves. They make sure that sila will enjoy life while ang mga kababayan nila po, itong mga Filipino kagaya sa atin, nahirapan tayo po dahil sa mga kalukuhan nila. Dahil nakita natin po, sila at saka ang pamilya nila, mga anak nila po is enjoying life habang tayo, we are suffering. And who is paying them? Who is paying them po? Tayo, mga taxpayers. Mamaya, I will just give you an idea kung makano talaga ang sweldo ng mga congressmen, mga senador po, mga sabihin natin na undersecretary, mga secretary po. I will give you an idea lang po. Kasi some people were saying, mayaman na yon sila ngayon dahil malaki din ang sweldo nila. Hindi lang sa corruption. No po, you're wrong. You are wrong if you are thinking that way po. Karamihan ng mga properties nila, ang wealth na accumulated by these people, corrupt people po, hindi galing sa sweldo nila po. Dahil sa corruption. dahil sa corruption. And because of this corruption, now you see, like what is happening now, last week and this week, last week and this week po, no? Na mga Filipinos, maraming Filipinos po, by the hundreds, by the thousands po, suffered because dumating na naman ang typhoon sa Pilipinas. Flooded naman ang mga lugar natin po sa Pilipinas dahil hindi nagawa ang mga flood control projects. Sana lang po, kung nagawa yun po, na everything runs smoothly, completed on time, siguro po itong mga typhoon that we are experiencing now, po, ang impact po will not be that great or big as how we experiencing or we are suffering now po. Remember po, no? Mayroon tayong Typhoon Opong, no? Si Nando, malakas din yun si Nando po. And then si Opong. And then, although going out na po yata si Opong, no? Pero mayroon pa yata tayo several more expected typhoons to visit the Philippines within this year po. Remaining months tayo po. Now we are already September, and then October, November, December po. May 3 months pa tayo po, no? Expected na mayroon pa mga typhoon will be coming in. We don't know if this will be super typhoon or hindi, malakas po. But so far, now we are suffering po. Mayroon na, if I'm not mistaken, 11 yata yun, no? Narinig ko sa mainstream media natin dyan sa Pilipinas. 11 tao namatay po. And ang daming tao nasa evacuation center. Anyway, sige lang po. Let me show you first, unang-una po, no? Before we go to our main topic. Ang main topic po tungkol kay Tatay Digong. Tungkol kay Tatay Digong na ang appeal ni Tatay Digong for an interim release or temporary release ni Tatay Digong po, most likely may pag-asa po, may hope tayo po, no? Baka ang ICC, International Criminal Court, will grant ang appeal ni Tatay Digong, which ang legal counsel ni Tatay Digong dyan po sa The Hague, the Netherlands po, they already submitted their application for interim release ni Tatay Digong. Later on, we will touch on that thing. Ito muna tayo po. I just want to share with you po a video clip na you will see paano ang sitwasyon ng Typhoon Opong dyan po sa Pilipinas. Yesterday ba ito pa, no? Dyan sa Masbate and some other areas. Nandito ang report ng mainstream media natin po. So at least you will have an idea. So, stick with me hanggang mamaya itong programa natin po dahil I will be sharing with you ang mga latest updates natin tungkol what is happening dyan sa Pilipinas. Mga kababayan ko po dito sa Malaysia, particularly dito po sa Sabah, sa Sarawak, and of course, ang mga overseas Filipino workers natin po sa ibang-ibang parte ng mundo, at saka ang mga kababayan, kapatid natin po, brothers and sisters, dyan po sa Pilipinas, of which I hope that they are all safe, especially those dyan po sa affected areas ng Typhoon Opong. Nandito po ang video clip that I would like to share with you now. Let's watch and listen to this.
Storms batter the country. Strong winds and heavy rains lashed northern Luzon earlier this week, fueled by the effects of Super Typhoon Nando and the southwest monsoon. Nando, the strongest storm to hit Earth so far this year, is the first super typhoon to hit the Philippine area of responsibility in 2025. And it left a trail of destruction. Hours after Super Typhoon Nando exited the PAR, a low-pressure area east of the Visayas quickly intensified into severe tropical storm Opong, pounding the Bicol region and much of Luzon. Reports from the NDRRMC show over a dozen were killed and several more were injured due to bad weather. More than 1 million individuals have been affected, with tens of thousands forced to flee their homes. The timing of these storms comes amid intense scrutiny of flood control projects in the country. The House Infrastructure Committee has suspended its probe on the anomalies, but the Senate and the Independent Commission on Infrastructure continue their investigations. More politicians and government officials have been dragged into the widening scandal during the Blue Ribbon Committee hearings. Senators Jinggoy Estrada and Joel Villanueva were once again floated as alleged beneficiaries of kickbacks. And now, former Senate President Francis Escudero's name has entered the fray.
Nangangamba po kasi ako sa seguridad ng pamilya ko. Ito pong aking salaysay. May marami pong mga tao na mababanggit. At ako po'y humingi ng tawad sa mga tao na to. Pero kailangan ko pong sabihin yung katotohanan. Taong 2022, yun nga po, nabanggit ko kanina, humiling si Senator Joel Villanueva ng proyektong multipurpose building. Kakalaga ng 1.5 B. Sa halagang 1.5 B ay 600 million lamang ang napagbigyan ng pondo para sa multipurpose B. Hindi ito napagbigyan, kaya napilitan kaming gumawa ng paraan ni Yusek Bernardo. Hindi humingi ng partikular ng proyekto o porsyento si Senator Joel, pero inutos ni Yusek Bernardo bigyan na lamang ng proyekto na may katumbas na 150 million na proponent. Dahil dito, nabigyan si Senator Joel ang proyektong Unprogram Operations ng 2023, nagkakalaga ng 600 million na pawang mga flood control. Kaya Senator Jinggoy naman po, sa pagkakatanda ko, nasa 2024 budget hearing kami sa Senado. Kasama ko si Yusek Bernardo sa pagitan ng alas 9 hanggang alas 10 ng gabi. Habang kami naghihintay, tinanong ako ni Yusek Bernardo kung meron pa akong gustong lagyan at meron pang available na 355 si SGE. Ayon po kay Yusek Bernardo. Sabi ko po, boss, meron naman. Sagot ni Yusek Bernardo sa akin na ipasok ko agad sa kanyang listahan.
I delivered 20% of approximately 800 million or about 160 million to Maynard Ngu, which was meant for Senator Escudero. Finally, I would like to add that deliveries of cash were personally made to me, by me, to Maynard Ngu at his office in Manila. Around July 2025, I had a chance encounter with Senator Cheese and Maynard Ngu at the court. Senator Cheese Escudero approached me, shook my hand, and said to me, "Thank you."
Escudero strongly rejected the accusations, vowing to prove former DPWH Undersecretary Roberto Bernardo is lying. Estrada and Villanueva have also vehemently denied any wrongdoing.
It was clear, very clear, from Mr. Alcantara's own statement. Hindi po ako nag-request ng kahit anong flood control project. Sinabi din po niya, wala po akong alam at hindi rin po ako kailanman sinabihan tungkol sa mga proyektong yan. Inamin ni District Engineer Alcantara na may tulong daw po, na may tulong daw siyang pinaabot. Pero hindi po sa akin, sabi po niya. At siya na rin po mismo ang nagsabi na wala po akong alam doon. Pero ayan, Mr. President, basta binanggit lang po yung pangalan natin,
Hindi ako tutol sa sinasagawang pagdinig ng Blue Ribbon Committee. Ngunit, hindi ko pa hihintulutan na ang kasalukuyang issue ay gamitin upang itikit muli sa akin ang mga maling paratang at sadyang impluwensyahan ang opinyon ng publiko. I too deserve to be heard and to defend myself. I am more than ready to dismantle the baseless lies being peddled in the Blue Ribbon Committee.
Alright, yun po, narinig natin po, no? We saw ang damage due to Typhoon Nando and Opong po. We could have avoided this thing, but because of this kalukuhan, scandal ng mga projects, ng flood control projects, dyan po sa Pilipinas, nationwide ito po, maraming mga lugar natin po at saka mga tao po now suffering. Ito ang effect. Now, there's only one thing I noticed also, no? Habang focus ang gobyerno, si President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos dyan po sa investigasyon ng flood control projects and other infrastructure projects, vertical and horizontal. No? Now, what happens now po? Bad weather is coming, heavy downpour, typhoon, expected to visit the Philippines. Marami pa po hanggang end of this year. So what happened? What will happen? Itong mga, sabihin natin, proyekto natin po to avoid flash flood po. Avoid ang mga areas natin to submerge during typhoon, during heavy downpour po. Focus na lang ba tayo dyan sa investigation? Yes, 100%. We want to know. We want that all these culprits, itong mga tao, irresponsible, greedy, what else, paano pa tayo mag-describe sa kanila po? Mga corrupt, na walang konsensya po, no? While we are focusing there, ang gobyerno natin, ang mga authorities natin, what is the government doing on how to, mayroon pa tayo October, November, December. Di ba? Mayroon pa tayo po. So, paano yan po? Are we going to experience the same, sabihin natin, inconveniences and loss of lives and damage of properties, October, November, December? Ganon na lang ba? Is the government doing something to prevent flash flood habang mayroon tayo ongoing investigation? Diyan po, I'm just thinking, so what happened now? Ano ngayon? I still remember, correct me if I'm wrong, during the time of, I hate to compare mo, but real talk lang tayo. I still remember, during the time of former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte po, whenever there is a big problem, problema tayo po, what Tatay Digong will do immediately po to solve the problem, although it is not a long-term solution, but at least maganda na yun po, maganda na yun po, and he did it dyan sa Pilipinas when he was the president po. He utilizes ang mga police natin, ang mga sundalo natin po to address that problem temporarily while mayroon ongoing investigation. Sana lang po, I don't know if the president is doing this thing, mayroon na ba directive, nag-issue ni, sabihin natin, ni President Bongbong Marcos, ordering ang mga police natin, mga sundalo natin po, to go out and address itong mga problema natin habang wala pa ang typhoon. Mayroon na ba? Or everybody is just waiting ang resulta ng investigation? Sana lang po, let's do something. While we are doing the investigation, while you are doing the investigation, also at the same time, simultaneously po, habang, let's say, today, umalis na ngayon si Opong, but there is another typhoon expected to come by next month, or next week ba, or ano. So, utilize na po, deploy ang mga tao natin po. Mayroon pa tayong mga tao po, mga sundalo po, to help, sabihin natin, minimize the effect of the typhoon in the event it will come. No? Heavy or super typhoon po. Sana po, ganyan po. No? Nandiyan naman mga tao, we are more than willing to assist. Instead of we just be sitting down waiting for the result of the investigation. I'm sorry po, I don't know kung mayroon ba o wala. Kung sakali wala po, I think the government should do something about this, no? About this po, to minimize ang damage po, no? Save lives, precious lives, and damage to properties. Once we talk about damage to properties, hindi lang yan po ang mga galamiton o mga things natin sa bahay. But we have to also consider the agricultural sector. Ang mga palayan natin po, rice field natin, no? Badly affected. Very badly affected po. And once we will not do something about this po, or try to minimize the effect of this, the damage, the effect of this typhoon or heavy downpour po, or flooding, no? So, ang effect dyan po is matagal po. For example, sa agricultural sector natin, sa mga rice field natin po, paddy fields natin. So, instead of harvesting, malapit na mga harvest, destroy ang crops natin po, and ang effect is long, no? It will take months for us to replant ang rice natin po and wait for the harvest season. Yun po. See? Yun po ang problema. Yun po ang problema. Anyway, sige, thank you very much kay Alvin Cavato. I think he's in Manila. Thank you very much for watching itong programa natin, Nick Talk, the Real Talk with Nico. Hope you are safe and you're not affected with itong heavy downpour or typhoon ba dyan sa Pilipinas. I was made to understand si Opong already left the Philippine area of responsibility, but maskin umalis na siya po, nasa Vietnam na siya ngayon. I was made to understand based on the Pag-asa report na we are still expecting some downpours po, no? Downpours. And if this will be heavy downpours, hindi man sabihin natin typhoon, but it can result to mga landslide. Landslide po. Ayun ang problema po. And heavy or strong winds po, problema yun din. No? See what happens sa Masbate ngayon and some areas. Yun po ang problema. So, huwag lang tayo mag-focus dyan lang po sa sabihin natin ang investigation. We will talk about the investigation later on po. Marami pa tayong oras and I will be touching on that thing later on. So, yun lang po para sa akin. Alright, so let's continue itong programa natin. This time around, later on, I'll be touching also about, di nyo alam, for those, but I think the majority of the Filipinos dyan po sa Pilipinas, they already heard about the resignation of the mayor of Baguio City po, si Benji Magalong, no? Last September, if I'm not mistaken, it was last September 13, nag-announce na si USEC Secretary, Undersecretary Tony Claire Castro, na advisor na po, special advisor, si Mayor Benji Magalong, dyan po sa setting up of the Independent Commission for Infrastructure po. Wherein, this is the commission wherein they are going to investigate po ang itong very expensive mega scandal po, corruption scandal dyan po sa Pilipinas that involves billions and trillions of taxpayers' money. That was September 16 and September 26. Yesterday po, nag-announce ang gobyerno, ang administration ni Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos na nag-resign na po si Mayor Benji Magalong. Later on, I will talk about it. I will talk about it po. So, in the meantime, ano pa tayo dito, Myron, Let me share with you first itong, alright. Tungkol si Typhoon Opong. Typhoon Opong po. Nandito po. I will read you, I'll give you some details or detalles po tungkol sa effect ng bagyong Opong. According to ABS-CBN, death toll rise to 11. Rise to 11 already po dyan sa Pilipinas. The death toll from severe tropical storm Opong rose to 11 in the Philippines Saturday as the cyclone bore down on Vietnam, authorities said. Opong battered small islands in the center of the Philippines on Friday, toppling trees and poles, ripping roof of homes, unleashing floods and forcing 400,000 people to evacuation centers. Among the worst hit was the tiny island of Biliran, where 8 people died and 2 are missing. Provincial disaster official Noel Lungay told AFP by telephone. There was a widespread flooding and some roads remain underwater early today, Saturday po. Yun po ang problema sa Pilipinas po. Bakit ganito? Dahil po sa kalukuhan ng mga lawmakers natin. Lawmakers natin po. Senador ba sila? Or congressman ba sila? Ang opisyalis natin dyan po sa Department of Public Works and Highways and ang mga contractors po. And not only Department of Public Works and Highways, other government agencies and departments po reportedly may sabihin natin po has something to do with this problem po, ng corruption po, ng corruption. Kagaya ng COA, Commission on Audit, they didn't do properly their duties and responsibilities. And mayroon na po, I was made to understand based on the news dyan po sa Pilipinas, si Congresswoman, former Senator Laila De Lima, and together with his colleagues po, they are contemplating seriously to file impeachment complaint against the commissioner of COA. COA po. Let's see po what will happen. Let's see what will happen. So, alright? So, ganito po ang sitwasyon dyan sa Pilipinas, and sana lang po, tapusin na natin itong problema natin dyan sa Pilipinas kasi karamihan na po ng mga tao po, majority of the Filipinos are suffering. Hindi lang ngayon po. Ang tagal na tayo, we have been suffering. But we are so lenient, we are so forgiving, we are God-fearing po. For how many donkey years already, we know. Everybody knows what is happening. Alam natin po, before, ang kickback, ang hingi ng mga mayors, mga governors, kickback nila po noon, 10% lang po. 10% lang. Tapos, as the year goes by po, tumaas na po. Tumaas na to 10-12%. Some 15%. Matalino na sila. They learn already what is a small amount and big amount. Kaya nga nag-increase na po. And 2022 po, dyan na po, mas lalo na po. Mas lalo na tumaas ang porsyento ng hingi itong mga tao, mga corrupt politicians, mga corrupt government servants natin po, mga corrupt contractors po. Tumaas na po sa 20, 25, 30, and some 35% po. So, grabe talaga. What do you expect? What do you expect po? Itong mga proyekto natin. Mga proyekto natin po. Either it will be substandard, it will be delayed, and worse still, na dumating ng panahon po, and it is confirmed already, whether we like it or not, whether they like it or not, whether they will deny it or not, it is confirmed also po, several ghost projects mayroon tayo sa Pilipinas. Grabe yan po. Noon narinig tayo ghost project, ghost po, during the election. Ghost voters. Ngayon po, proyekto na po. And mabuti lang kung itong mga proyekto po is only amounting to few thousands. Grabe po. It is by the millions, by the billions. Grabe na grabe. Grabe na kayo. Palitan na. And ang problema dito ngayon po, ang justice system natin po, I don't know what is happening. Ang justice system natin. And then here comes the president saying, oh, I'm going out. I went out and visit other foreign countries. Purpose is to invite foreign investors to invest in the Philippines. Baloney. How can you invite foreigners to come to the Philippines kung ganito ang sitwasyon natin sa Pilipinas? Corrupt left and right. You think the foreigners are stupid to invest their money or even just to expand their operation dito sa Pilipinas? Do you think, I'll give you a very good example. Dito lang po sa Malaysia. Nasa media tayo dito po. I write stories, I interview businessmen. I interview those businessmen in the tourism sectors. No? I attend seminars. Trainings. Attended by Asian countries. Mga representatives nila po. What do I hear when we talk to them about investing in the Philippines? They will just tell you, yeah, that's good. It's a very good idea. But the problem is, one, security. Sabi nila. Paano ng security sa Pilipinas? Second, political stability. Grabe ang political stability. How can we go and invest in your country kung hindi stable ang political situation ninyo? Anytime can go wrong, and who suffers? Kami mga foreign investors. Mga facilities natin sa Pilipinas po. Oh, here comes the president saying, oh, we have the Filipinos are peace-loving Filipinos, friendly, easy to communicate, hardworking. Correct? I agree. That's why you come here and invest. Cheap labor ang Philippines. Come and invest. We can give you a lot of opportunities for business opportunities. Ang mga foreigners po, they just listen to you po. Pero hanggang dito na lang niya po, labas na dito po. And with a smile again. Because infrastructure. You want to invest something, let's say in Mindanao. May project tayo doon. Let's say for example, coconut. Ito na lang coconut natin po. Coconut fruits. In demand. I'll tell you. Coconuts. In demand dito po sa Malaysia. I went to Brunei. They're asking me, Sir Nick, can you supply us coconut fruits? Hindi copra. Coconut talaga po. Ang yung fruit talaga. We are willing to buy. I said, yes, we have a lot of coconut plantation in the Philippines. Maganda ang volume. Kababayan, maganda ang volume. But ang problema natin is how to bring the product dito sa Sabah. Transportation-wise, wala tayong regular ferry services. We use our barter trade vessels or boats, open sea. Something happens, sino ang lugi? Security-wise, corruption. Marinig lang, I'm sorry to say that, marinig lang yan ng custom, okay, may darating na barko. galing sa, let's say sa mga you're going to Sabah or going to Brunei po, nandun na po. Telephone na yun, okay. Darating itong oras, blah, 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 you intercept. Or galing from Malaysia, going to Mindanao, going to Cagayan ba o kung saan ba po, nandyan na po ang kalukuhan. Maybe they will not confiscate their goods, your goods, but they will give a lot of reasons for you to put out extra money for them. So, it boils down to corruption. Corruption po. President Ferdinand Marcos has been in that position for 3 years already po. 2022. Bakit ngayon nang lumabas? Why? He didn't know that this is happening po from day one as the President of the Philippines po. Nobody, sabihin natin na inform you? I don't think so. I don't think so po. Nandyan ka, mayroon kang very close, sabihin natin, ties with the House of Representatives dahil ang speaker is first cousin mo. Nabudol ka ba kay Speaker Romualdez? Or the other way around? Or you're part of it? You just close one eye and enjoy life while the Filipinos are suffering. I'm sorry po. I'm sorry po. But this is how I look at it. This is how we Filipinos dito sa Sabah, we are talking po na imposible, hindi alam ang presidente. And then ngayon, what is happening ngayon? Investigation. More than 1 month na ang issue na ito po. Since the time President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos revealed it, sabi nga, mahiya kayo sa State of the Nation address. But what happened? Wala po. We don't see any concrete, sabihin natin na result coming from the administration of Bongbong Marcos, from the President. No, wala po. Wala nga arestado, wala nga ano po. Except, cited in contempt, nandyan sila po sa detention center ng Senado. Pero yun talaga po, sa korte, wala. Ombudsman, mga government officials, dapat dyan po sa ombudsman. Investigate na sana yun po. And then file charges, cases, and then immediately, kung pwede po, no? Kung pwede po, immediately, issue arrest warrant sa kanila po. And then they will be put in jail. Falsification of public funds. Diyan lang ba po? Hindi ba plunder ang kailangan dyan po? Because we are talking about billions and who knows trillions of money po involved. Tapi wala. Wala nangyari. Investigation po. Investigation po hanggang kailan ito po? Hanggang bukas? Hanggang next week? Hanggang next month? Or January 1st? Or maghintay tayo tapos ang Independence Day next year? Ngayon pa lang bago pa lang, September 26 yata yung nag-form sila ang ICI. Nag-form na po, maganda na po. No? Nag-announce si President Ferdinand Marcos, maganda na. Okay, mayroon na tayong tao na ganito, the integrity, mayroon itong reputasyon, okay. That includes already ang mayor ng Baguio, very known person, is not corrupt, straight leader. And nakita natin po ang sinseridad ni Mayor Magalong po when he do his work as a police officer and now as a mayor. Kaya nga, I am putting him as the special advisor of this ICI. But yesterday, what happened? Nag-resign. Si Mayor Magalong. Bakit po? Very obvious na po. Very obvious. Very obvious na obvious. Very obvious na obvious. You see, I will show you a video clip. Sa inyo po, mga kababayan ko dito sa Sabah. I will show you a video clip. September 13, if I'm not mistaken, sabi ni Undersecretary Claire Castro na ano daw po, si Mayor Magalong, special advisor, and he's a good, sabihin natin, investigator, and he will do his job per the request of the President. But pagdating naman September 26, sabi niya, hindi yun role ni Magalong. Hindi yun role ni Magalong to investigate. Buti lang po na unahan na si Mayor Magalong po nag-resign kahapon. Hindi po grabe. Nabudol ba? Yung hot ng issue natin tungkol itong flood control projects po. They need somebody na maganda ang credibility, integridad, maganda ang reputasyon ng tao po. So, they use po Mayor Benji Magalong. And ngayon, okay na po. Kita nila okay na. Lumabas ng mga pangalan ng mga ibang tao, mga senador na ganon. So, hindi na daw po. Baka may conflict of interest si Mayor Magalong. At the first place po, before announcing ang posisyon ni Mayor Magalong po, hindi ba nagawa ang presidente o mga tao niya po due diligence? Investigate, get a background, okay ba ito, ganito, he will be a mayor. At the first place, sabi ni Mayor Benji Magalong, sabi niya, to be a regular member of the commission, hindi niya, he doesn't want. Kasi to be a member of this commission, you have to stand down as a mayor. Ayaw din si Mayor Benji to leave his post as a mayor of Baguio City. He's doing good and the people in Baguio likes him. He is getting full support from the constituents in Baguio po. But because of his skills, quality, reputation, integrity po, and love for the country, and he really hates corruption po, he accepted that post. Only to find out po, yesterday, may duda pala. Baka may daw, and then lumabas itong tennis court ba yun sa Baguio? Mag-issue daw. Where in fact, si Mayor Magalong, sabi niya, walang problema, walang korupsyon. Yun project na yun. Listen tayo po ito. Tapos kayo na bahala. Kayo na bahala po to comment, to decide kung sino ba ang totoo, ano ba talaga? Ano ba talaga nangyari dyan po sa Mayroon tayo dito September. Ito muna. Alright, ito muna tayo. Maiksi lang ito, but may two versions tayo dito just to make it very clear. Nandito po. Sandali
Benji Magalong, a special advisor and who will act as investigator for the ICI. His experience in leading difficult investigations, uncovering internal wrongdoing, and enforcing compliance makes him a strong asset to this commission. At
September
siya po ay
26.
talagang bilang special advisor. So liliwanagin po natin, ang pagtalaga po sa kanya ng Pangulo ay bilang special advisor at hindi po lead investigator or in any other form na pag-iimbestiga. Hindi po siya nakita
Yun po. Yung naka-blue, si Attorney Claire, yun po ang statement niya September 13. Yung naka-pink po, yun ang statement niya yesterday, September 26. Tungkol sa issue ni Mayor Magalong. Okay, mayroon pa dito isa ha. Let's listen to this. Ito po.
Benji Magalong, Special Advisor, and who will act as investigator for the ICI. Mayor Magalong is a career law enforcement officer who served as Deputy Director General of the Philippine National Police ni Mayor Magalong at siya po ay talagang bilang Special Advisor. So liliwanagin po natin, ang pagtalaga po sa kanya ng Pangulo ay bilang Special Advisor at hindi po lead investigator or in any other form na pag-iimbestiga. Hindi po siya nakitalaga sa pag-iimbestiga at hindi po at wala po siyang power over the PNP and CIDG dahil ito po ay under sa DILG. Mayor
Okay, now, okay po, I will replay ito ha. Okay, you look at it ha. Yun sa una, September 13, sabi niya, lead investigator ba yan? Tapos, sa September 26, hindi daw. Isang person na ito po, same person, same undersecretary, and that is Attorney Claire Castro. So ngayon, saan ang totoo? Yung September 13 announcement or ang September 26 announcement? Magulo na nga ang gobyerno po, dagdagan pa si Attorney Claire Castro. Ano ba ito? Wala ba kayo coordination dyan? Ano ba yan dyan? Ha? Grabe naman kayo dyan. Yan. Okay, let's listen to this again. Ha? Ito po. Let's listen. Sandali po.
Benji Magalong, Special Advisor, and who will act as investigator for the ICI.
Okay, Special Advisor.
Officer, who's
Special Advisor and who will act as a special investigator. Yun po, September 13 yun. Ha? September 13 yun po. No? Alright, let's replay again. Grabe na. We don't know who's telling the truth ngayon. Hindi natin alam kung paano bang buhay natin dyan. Kaya nga, magulo eh.
Philippine National Police.
Sandali. Alright, let's listen to this.
Benji Magalong, Special Advisor, and who will act as investigator for the ICI. Mayor Magalong is a career law enforcement officer who served as Deputy Director General of the Philippine National Police ni Mayor Magalong at siya po ay talagang bilang Special Advisor. So liliwanagin po natin, ang pagtalaga po sa kanya ng Pangulo ay bilang Special Advisor at hindi po lead investigator or in any other form na pag-iimbestiga. Hindi po siya nakitalaga sa pag-iimbestiga at hindi po at wala po siyang power over the PNP and CIDG dahil ito po ay under sa DILG. Mayor
Yun po, narinig natin ha. Two statements, September 13 and 26. Iba po. Ano yan po? Budol? Klarong-klaro po, no? And then they are the ones who are saying mga fake news. Ano ba ito? Fake news ba ito? Mr. or Madam Attorney Castro. Claire Castro po. Fake news ba ito or what? Fake news ba yun September 13? But you're the one who gave that news. Who announced that news. September 26 bang fake news? Pero ikaw pa rin yun na nagsalita. Ito po ang problema natin po. Kaya nga, how to solve the problem? Nobody is telling the truth. Nobody, sa sa investigation natin dyan sa Blue Ribbon Committee at saka sa ICI, tell all. So ano ba yung tell all? Sabi mo, lahat ang katotohanan. See? Kasi obvious na obvious po. You go to the Blue Ribbon Committee, tingnan niya po ang mga resource persons doon po. They are applying for the State Witness Protection Program. But they are not telling all. Selective lang ang confession nila. Obvious po, lahat ng mga tao po, mga senado po, they agree. Everybody is saying, they're not telling telling all. Yet they know already they're not telling all. Pero sige pa ang ang investigasyon. Sana, make a decision already. Right. What do you think? Grabe po. Grabe ang sitwasyon. I'm sorry to say this. You see? I'm sorry to say this po. Huh? Okay. Si Saldico, nasaan si Saldico? Ito si Congressman Martin Romualdez. Bakit po? See? Now, before going to Saldico and Romualdez po, let me share with you itong footage po, footage ni Mayor Magalong, Benji Magalong po. Listen to this po.
Our children. And that's precisely my motive. I want to give our children, my grandchildren, a bright future. Sayang lang yung mga ginagawa ko, mga programa na leadership empowerment of the youth, developing their leadership potentials. But at the end of the day, magkukulang din yung ating ekonomiya, magkukulang din yung ating bansa. Sayang lang lahat. At sino bang unang tatakas? Itong mga korap na politiko dahil napakarami na nilang pera. Marami na rin sila na ibang sa ibang countries. Kaya, ito lang ang mukan ko talaga. Ang motivation ko to make sure that our children, our young generation will have a bright future. Wala na ako ibang motive dyan. Eh sabi ko nga, I'm willing even to sacrifice my life just to make sure that, we give the future that our children really deserve. And of course, the survival of our country. Kasi wala namang Philippine 1, wala namang Philippine 2, wala namang Philippine 3. Isa na lang ang ating bansa. Hindi pa natin paglalaban itong ating bansa. Ano pa? Diba? But Mayor,
Alright, yan po. Narinig natin po si Mayor Benji Magalong. Saludo ako po sa kanya. Mayor, I salute. Ang ganda ang intention mo po. Ang intention ni General Magalong, Mayor Magalong po, maganda po. Sana maraming kagaya ni Mayor Magalong dyan po sa Pilipinas. We will support you. I personally support you po. Ang endeavor ninyo po. Kasi para sa kabutihan natin, tayo mga ang present generation, and for the younger generation and the generations to come. Para at least okay ang buhay natin po ng mga Filipino, maganda ang Pilipinas po. Ngayon, whether you like it or not po, we compare with other Asian countries po, kawawa ang Pilipinas. Even mag-compare tayo ngayon sa Vietnam, in terms of economy, in terms of investment, grabe po. Grabe. Malayo tayo po. Okay? Malayo tayo po. Alright. Saan na tayo, ha? Okay, next is, saan na tayo? Okay, let's listen to Congressman Toby Chanco po. Brief lang ito. I just want to share with you ang mga statements na po. Very brief lang ito. Sandali.
kaya hindi pa pwede ipatawag si Congressman Saldico is because congressman siya, hindi siya pa pwede maging resource person out of courtesy at hindi siya, ibig sabihin, hindi siya pwedeng panumpay na siya magsasabi ng katotohanan. Voluntaryo ang kanyang pagpunta doon. Kaya sinabi ko na nga, nag-manifest ako na saan pupunta itong investigasyon na ito, di ba? Kasi in the first place, hindi ako pabor na kami mag-imbestiga sa sarili namin. Ngayon, napatunayan na talagang wala na pupuntahan kasi tuwing may iimbitahan na congressman, hindi naman siya pwedeng gawing resource person.
So, ibig sabihin, protektado ang congressman sa investigasyon na to. Yun ang simple explanation itong bagay na to.
Alright, yun po si Toby Chanco reacting on ito si Congressman o Representative Saldico. Yun, very popular ngayon po, congressman dyan sa Pilipinas po. Dalawa sila, si Saldico at saka si Martin Romualdez. Okay, if you see left and right po sa mainstream media, mayroon mga news that he is serious. He wants to go home and answer all these allegations against him po. Pero nasaan siya? From US to France, mga chismis to Spain. And then, kailan siya babalik? Hanggang Monday na lang siya, no? Mr. Congressman Saldico, you have to be in the Philippines by Monday. Failing which, according to the speaker, newly elected speaker, Speaker D, na pasok na po ang complaint sa ethics committee ninyo po. And kung sakali mayroon pa ang magdesisyon na po ang ethics committee po, then you will have the same fate of former Congressman Ernie Teves. Pero hindi lang yan po sana. Hindi lang yan na wala na siya pagka congressman po. Sana it won't stop there. Gusto namin, gusto ang mga Pilipino, gusto namin po, you have to clear ang mga allegations po. And you have to pay for the crimes that you have committed against us, taxpayers. Because you stole billions, trillions of money. Biro mo yan, may mga ilan ang fleet niya po, mga choppers, helicopters, and mga aeroplano po, 11. Ito si former Speaker Martin Romualdez po. What happened? It doesn't mean na you step down already, tapos na po. Hindi, tapos yan po. Hindi din maghinto ang mga Filipinos po. Until we see justice given to us. Until we see kayo mga speaker, kayo Speaker Romualdez, Representative Saldico, and whoever involved dyan po sa Senado o dyan po sa Congress, House of Representatives po, mga government officials, mga contractors po, you should pay the price. Time does not pay. Sino? And we want to know, maski kunti lang kami dito pa po sa Malaysia, sa Sabah, but we want to know, sino ang mastermind? Imposible na imposible po. Ang contractor will have the guts to give money sa engineers, corrupt engineers po, make a deal with them, corrupt deals. And then ito naman na engineers will also deal with another group of people dyan po, kagaya sa mga congressmen. Mga congressmen dyan po. Tapos mayroon pa silang niyang boss. Sino mag-approve? Who has the power? Dalawang tao lang po. Si Appropriation Committee Chairman, that time, si Representative Saldico. And of course, ang boss niya, si Speaker Martin Romualdez. Former Speaker Martin Romualdez. But mayroon pa yan po, sino pa ang boss ni Speaker? Imposible. Walang boss yun si Speaker po. Imposible yun po. Alam namin, imposible yun. For as long as hindi dumating dito sa dyan sa Pilipinas, si Saldico and spill, sabihin po kung paano ang partisipasyon ni Romualdez dito po sa allegations, wala mangyari. Wala mangyari po. And kung sakali, he mentioned it already, he sang the song already po. So, it will be the time for Romualdez to also sing the same tune. Doon malalaman natin po kung sino talaga ang mastermind. What is important is the mastermind po. Putulin natin yung kapala or ang head, ang ulo, para itong buhaya mamatay. O itong ahas mamatay. Kung hindi tayo putulin yung ahas, mabuhay pa yan. O ang buhaya. Kaya nga po, grabe. Grabe po. Sana lang po, you open your eyes na kayo po, surrender na kayo po. You say, during the campaign period, I love you, I'm God-fearing, magdasal-dasal kayo sa publiko. Pero yun pala po, kalukuhan. Kalukuhan ginawa ninyo po at the expense of kami po, mga poor Filipinos. Kayo po sa Malacanang. Yung mga pera-pera lang po. You just imagine. Yung pera delivered daw sa bahay ni Saldico, and then Saldico's house, pumunta sa bahay ni Martin Romualdez, and then from Martin Romualdez, mayroon pa rin nag-deliver dyan po sa harap ng Malacanang. For what? Sa harap ng sa Malacanang. Kanino yon? For whom? Diba? Ngayon, si Gutesa, Oli Gutesa po, lumabas po. And marami na hindi daw nag-deny ang lawyer ng nag-sign ang notary, no? Issue. Ganon na naman yun po. Ganon na naman yun. They will make it very complicated. That's why I said, all of them will make us confused so that at the end of the story, we will believe the lies. And tapos, masubside na yan po, makalimutan na natin. Kababayan ko po dito sa Malaysia, dito sa Sabah, dyan sa Pilipinas, mga overseas Filipino workers po, huwag natin po, we don't ever think of stopping itong fight natin po. Tuloy natin ang laban sa korupsyon sa Pilipinas po. It will not stop. We will not stop. Please, we will not stop po. If we want to see a brighter future for our children's and children's to come. Yun lang po ang hingi ko sa ating lahat po. Sa ating lahat. So siguro hanggang dito na lang muna tayo po. No? And whatever information I have, nakalimutan ko pala. Alright. Now, may news tayo po regarding sa issue ni Tatay Digong. I was made to understand, it was officially announced already sa Pilipinas po that ang Malacanang will not interfere whatever the decision of the International Criminal Court. In the event, the ICC will decide to grant ang sabihin natin interim release of Tatay Digong. Nag-apply na po ang legal team ni Tatay Digong po. And let's see, I am not saying na confirm na po na the ICC will, sabihin natin, grant the appeal for interim release of Tatay Digong. No, we are not saying that. I'm not saying that po. But with this kind of developments, no, especially news coming from the legal team of Tatay Digong, na they submitted already, and wala silang problema sa mga kondisyon to be stated by the International Criminal Court po for this interim release of Tatay Digong po. Wala silang problema. They will abide it as religiously as could be. They will abide po ang mga conditions. And one thing nice also po, no? That's why I say may hope tayo, because based on the announcement of Inday Sara Duterte, ang daughter ni Tatay Digong, si Inday Sara Duterte, who is also the Vice President of the Philippines, sabi niya po mayroon na third country who is willing to accept Tatay Digong. Now, no names mentioned. Understandable lang po, no names mentioned po. No names mentioned. Kung anong country na yun po, we will just wait. We will just wait po. Kasi mahirap na po if ang kampo ni Duterte will reveal the name of this country. Baka those who are not happy po, we will try to negotiate, convince the other country or that country mentioned po not to accept Tatay Digong po. Tatay Digong needs this interim release. Why? Because po, consider his age at 80 plus. And alam na natin po, deteriorating, I'm sorry to say that, deteriorating ang health condition ni Tatay Digong based on the pronouncement made by the family members, immediate family members of Tatay Digong, and also mga close friends ni Tatay Digong, kagaya ni Senator Bongo, no? Senator Bongo. So, at the age of 80, medyo nahirapan na siya po, and it's very difficult po for a super senior a citizen, kagaya ni Tatay Digong po, to be alone in a detention center. Pero kung nasa bahay siya po, sa isang nation siya po, and then put him in a house, then he will, sabihin natin, freely can receive visitors, and ang mga doktor niya po, private doctors na po, who has been sa kanya po from early days dyan po sa Davao, alam na po ang condition ni Tatay Digong po, they can attend to him po daily and religiously po, no? May nurse talaga ko. Iba talaga ang atmosphere inside detention center, and when you are in a house, no? House arrest na po, no? This, iba talaga yon ang atmosphere, and it will help ang health condition of Tatay Digong. So let's continue to pray that the judges of the ICC, International Criminal Court po, will open their eyes and realize that si Tatay Digong needs this interim release, no? Interim release as soon as possible. Sana lang po, it will be tomorrow. Yun naman ang sigaw. The whole Filipino nation po, no? Although may exemption, mayroon yan mga kontra kay Tatay Digong, although they are only few, no? They will not be happy, but whole majority of the population of the Philippines, the 140, 150 million, no? We are appealing to the ICC po to seriously consider the appeal of interim release of Tatay Digong. So with this, hanggang dito na lang tayo po, and maraming salamat sa mga kaibigan natin who's watching ang programa natin, especially si Alvin, si Ruben Castillo, si Art Enriquez, si Dodong, si Mark, si Jojo, and everybody is watching itong programa ngayon po. Thank you very much. Stick to my program. I will make sure that every news, breaking news po, mayroon sa Pilipinas po, I will make sure that you will be properly informed. I might not be able to be the first one to break the news, but definitely you will get the news because you deserve it as a Filipino through me, ang programa natin, Nick Talk, the Real Talk with Nico. Once again, Nico would like to say thank you very much for making me a part of your day today. Enjoy your weekend. God bless us all. Malaysia, Sabah, and the Philippines. I'll see you in my next episode. Bye.